Good morning students. In this video lesson we will study about various types of pulmonary volumes and capacities. So first of all we should know what pulmonary volume and what pulmonary capacity means. The quantity of the air the lung can receive, hold or expel under different conditions is known as pulmonary or lung volume. Pulmonary is the scientific term which is used for lungs. Similarly, the pulmonary capacity refers to the combination of two or more pulmonary volumes. And what are these two or more pulmonary volumes we will study in the next slide. Next is spirometry. Spirometry is basically the process of recording the changes in the volume of air into and out of lungs, and the instrument which we used for this purpose is called as spirometer. The graph showing the changes in the pulmonary volumes and pulmonary capacity under different conditions of breathing is known as spirogram. First, under the category of respiratory volume is tidal volume or TV. The volume of air inspired and expired during the normal, effortless breathing is called tidal volume. It is approximately 500 ml in the average adult man. Of the 500 ml of the inspired air, only 350 ml of the fresh air reaches to the lung alveoli, and that is known as alveolar volume, while about 150 ml of the inspired air remain in the respiratory tract from the nasal chamber to the terminal bronchioles, which is often called anatomical dead space and is called dead space volume. Physiological dead space include anatomical dead space plus the space in the non-functional alveoli. So the physical dead space is a combination of anatomical dead space, that means the area from the nasal chamber to the bronchioles, and the alveoli which are not in function. It is not useful for the gaseous exchange process. So the physiological dead space is not at all useful or the part of the gaseous exchange, and no gas exchange occur in this dead space. During exercise, tidal volume is about 4 to 10 times higher than the normal volume. Next is the inspiratory reserve volume known as IRV. It is the extra volume of the air which can be inspired by forced inhalation beyond the normal tidal volume. It is about 2500 to 3000 ml. It is basically the deepest possible inspiration. Another is expiratory reserve volume, that is ERV. It is the amount of air that can be expired by forceful expiration after the end of a normal tidal expiration. It is about 1000 to 1100 ml. Third is the residual volume, that is RV. It is the volume of air left behind in the lungs and the respiratory passage even after the most forceful expiration, that is about 1500 ml. This volume can never be expelled out by respiration. Next is the various pulmonary capacity. Under this, the first one is inspiratory capacity, IC. It is the amount of air that a person can inhale to the maximum level. It is basically the sum of inspiratory reserve volume and the tidal volume, and it is approximately about 3500 ml. So IC is equal to, or the inspiratory capacity is equal to IRV, inspiratory reserve volume, plus TV, tidal volume. Another is functional residual capacity, FRC. It is the amount of air left in the lungs after normal expiration. It is basically equal to the sum of expiratory reserve volume and the residual volume, and about 2500 ml or 2.5 liter. So FRC is equal to ERV plus RV, that is about 2500 ml. Vital capacity or VC. It is the maximum amount of air that can be expelled from the lungs by forced exhalation after a forced inhalation. It is equal to the sum of tidal volume, inspiratory reserve volume and the expiratory reserve volume. So the vital capacity of the lung is equal to TV plus IRV plus ERV, that is approximately 4600 ml. Range of the vital capacity is equal to 3.5 to 4.5 liter in a normal adult person. VC is higher in athlete, mountain dwellers, men and young ones. VC is lower in non-athlete, plain dwellers, women, old and cigarette smokers. Last is the total lung capacity, TLC. It is basically the amount of air which is present inside the lung as well as present inside the respiratory passage. That means from nasal to bronchioles plus the volume of air which is present inside the lung after a maximum inhalation effort. It is equal to the sum of vital capacity and the residual volume. So TLC, total lung capacity, is equal to vital capacity VC plus RV residual volume, that is approximately 5 to 6 liter in a normal human being.